They're two of the most affordable jet skis on the market, and they're also among the most fun. The Sea-Doo Spark Trixx turned the jet ski world on its head when it arrived in 2018 as the personal watercraft that can ride on its tail at the press of a button. 4 years later, in 2022, Yamaha responded with the Jet Blaster, a high-powered version of the entry-level EX WaveRunner. It too can ride on its tail, but not as vertical and for not as long. While the Sea-Doo can do some things the Yamaha cannot, this back-to-back test shows the Yamaha is also a blast and has its fair share of advantages over the Sea-Doo. In this video, we compare top speed and run timed acceleration tests and cover the key similarities and differences, as well as the pros and cons of both models. While the Sea-Doo Spark Trixx and Yamaha Jet Blaster in this video are 2022 models, they are identical to the 2023 editions except for annual colour scheme changes. Let's take a closer look. The Sea-Doo Spark Trixx arrived in 2018 as an upgraded model over the standard Sea-Doo Spark, released in 2014. While the Sea-Doo Spark Trixx initially cost less than $5,000 in the US and less than $10,000 in Australia, prices have crept up over the past 5 years. In the US, the Sea-Doo Spark Trixx now costs from $8,199 as a 2-seater and $8,799 as a 3-seater. Ski only, not including trailer and registration. In Australia, the Sea-Doo Spark Trixx now costs from $13,144 as a 2-seater and $14,114 as the 3-seater we've tested here. The detachable and portable Bluetooth speaker system adds $800 in Australia, which pushes the price close to $15,000, excluding trailer and registration. The Yamaha Jet Blaster arrived in 2022 with a bright blue and yellow colour scheme, priced from less than $10,000 in the US, and with a sticker price of $13,399 in Australia. For 2023, the Yamaha Jet Blaster switched to a menacing black and green colour scheme, and the price crept up to $10,699 in the US, and in Australia the price went up $1,100 to $14,499. Powering these skis are tiny but perky 3-cylinder petrol engines, 900cc in the Sea-Doo and 1049cc in the Yamaha. Sea-Doo quotes a 90 horsepower output for the Trixx, and while Yamaha does not make a performance claim, previously it announced the EXR, which shares the Jet Blaster engine tune, is rated to 110 horsepower. The Sea-Doo has a 7.9 US gallon or 30-litre fuel tank, whereas the Yamaha Jet Blaster has a 13.2 US gallon or 50-litre fuel tank. Both of these watercraft are super light, which makes them more nimble than larger, heavier skis. The Sea-Doo tips the scales at 439 pounds or 199 kilograms, whereas the Yamaha Jet Blaster has a dry weight of 549 pounds or 249 kilograms. As these dimensions show, the Sea-Doo Spark Trixx 3-seater and the Yamaha Jet Blaster are very similar in size, though the Yamaha does have a larger and more accessible rear deck to reboard after you've fallen in the water. The hull of the Spark Trixx is made from Polytech, a type of plastic-coated fiberglass, whereas the Jet Blaster is made from a lightweight material which Yamaha calls Nano XL. All jet skis are susceptible to damage if you ride them up the beach rather than anchor them in the water, but the Yamaha hull in particular does not deal well with being ridden onto sand. Our advice: buy a small anchor and don't beach any ski. A quick note on maintenance: both jet skis have large footwells that fill with water when you're washing them down after a big day out. So you may want to consider a wet vacuum or a water extraction hose attachment like the one we have here. Here's where some of the key differences come in. The Yamaha Jet Blaster has way more storage than the Sea-Doo Spark Trixx. The centre console can swallow a beach towel, water bottles, sunscreen, a phone and a wallet. The Yamaha also has a wet storage area in the nose and a storage bucket under the rear seat. The Sea-Doo centre console pocket can barely accommodate a set of car keys, and certainly can't fit a phone. An optional wet storage bag can be attached to the nose. The Sea-Doo has height adjustable handlebars, whereas the Yamaha Jet Blaster handlebars are in a fixed position. And the Sea-Doo has the option of a detachable 50-watt Bluetooth audio soundbar. Factory-fitted audio was not an option on the Jet Blaster when this video was published. Both skis have forward and reverse triggers for easy manoeuvrability at low speeds, as well as trim adjustment to raise or lower the bow of the craft, and a button that helps point the nose in the air for stunt riding by adjusting the jet pump nozzle to its most extreme setting. Both skis are heaps of fun, but the Yamaha Jet Blaster has sharper handling and is easier to reboard the rear deck when you fall off. And it's inevitable you will fall off both of these skis, especially when you're getting up to speed. They are so agile and so responsive to where you position your body, it's only a matter of time before you end up in the water, especially when you're practicing how to ride either of these craft on their tail. Both skis can stick their nose in the air at the press of a button after shifting your weight and standing on the step wedges fitted to the rear deck, and then giving it some throttle so the jet pump can do its trick. The Sea-Doo can get more vertical than the Yamaha and for longer, and it only takes a few practice runs to perfect the technique. It takes a little long to get to grips with the Yamaha, but before long you'll be launching with relative ease. The key tip for both skis when trying to point the nose in the air: shift your weight to the rear and make sure you apply plenty of throttle from the get-go. As for handling, they both have their strong points. The Sea-Doo has a more forgiving hull and more forgiving sponsons, so when you turn it doesn't try to throw you off. The hull and sponsons tend to make the Sea-Doo slide when turning rather than biting into the water. In comparison, the Yamaha Jet Blaster feels like a precision instrument. It turns sharper, is more responsive, but it will also send you off if you're too aggressive. Both models are a great way to learn how to ride a jet ski. Because they are so light and so small, you can really feel what impact even tiny adjustments to your riding position can make. Both of these skis turn on a dime, but if you get too carried away, you will end up in the water, as we did many times during our test runs. Time to check out the top speed and acceleration differences. On our first attempt, it was a windy day and the water was too choppy to launch both skis properly and to get a decent top speed. It also showed us just how susceptible these lightweight craft are to rough conditions. They bounced all over the place once above, say, 25 miles an hour or 40 kilometers an hour, and were a real handful. The Yamaha was able to cut a clearer path through the chop and hit a higher top speed in rough conditions than the Sea-Doo. However, both were hard work. We figured out pretty quickly it's best to stick to wave jumping or flat water with these machines. So we packed up the skis and lined them up another day for timed runs in glassed out conditions. Our first test was with a Sea-Doo Spark Trixx on loan from the guys at Beach's Sea-Doo in Sydney, and a Yamaha Jet Blaster we owned. We purchased the Jet Blaster expecting to do a back-to-back contest with the new generation Spark in early 2023. However, it was pushed back to the 2024 model year, so we will be sure to revisit this test once the new Spark comes out. In the meantime, this original generation Spark Trixx is expected to remain on sale for at least another year in some markets, so Sea-Doo can maintain its sharp price point. And with so many of the original Spark Trixx starting to appear on the used market, hopefully this review will help buyers choose between this model or the Yamaha Jet Blaster. Stay tuned to Watercraft Zone for further updates on the new generation Sea-Doo Spark, and to find out when it is expected on sale in the US and Australia. For now though, back to our speed test. After less than flattering performance times in rough conditions, we regrouped on flat water on the other side of Sydney. This time we borrowed a friend's Sea-Doo Spark Trixx, which is why the detachable speakers are missing from this footage. The craft just had a service and had 35 hours on the clock, so it was well and truly run in. We lined it up against the same Yamaha Jet Blaster as the original test. To make this as fair as possible, both skis had similar amounts of fuel on board, rather than brimming the Sea-Doo to 30 litres and the Yamaha to 50 litres. To be clear, these performance times are indicative only. It's what we achieved over an average of 4 runs, 2 in each direction, to account for water and wind conditions. The surface was glassed out, and we were in salt water, which can make skis faster due to the extra buoyancy. You may see faster or slower test results than what we achieved, depending on conditions and the weight of the rider. Both of these skis were showroom standard, and our test rider weighs 70 kilograms or 155 pounds and is a former racer. Here are the numbers. As you can see, both skis are pretty similar from launch, but as the speed climbs, the Yamaha starts to pull away and hits a higher top speed. In metric terms, the Sea-Doo Spark Trixx recorded a top speed of 75.7 km an hour versus 89.5 km per hour for the Yamaha Jet Blaster, which is an incredible speed for such a small ski. Using imperial measurements, the Sea-Doo Spark Trixx recorded a top speed of 47 miles per hour versus 55.6 miles per hour for the Yamaha Jet Blaster. The figures also show the Yamaha can hit close to 90 km an hour or 56 miles per hour in less time than it takes the Sea-Doo to hit 70 km an hour or 43 miles per hour. So, which one should you choose? Honestly, they are both a huge amount of fun. The Sea-Doo undercuts the Yamaha on price, can ride on its tail for longer, gets more vertical, and is a more forgiving ski to ride. It also has the option of a detachable Bluetooth audio system. In many ways, the Yamaha Jet Blaster is a different craft. It too can ride on its tail, but in shorter bursts. Instead, the Yamaha delivers razor-sharp handling, a higher top speed, better acceleration, and is more user-friendly when it comes to storage. And it has the convenience of that large, flat rear deck. We hate sitting on the fence in these back-to-back tests, but these skis really are almost too close to call. Choosing between the two depends on what you want to get out of your jet ski experience. While the numbers speak for themselves, you really can't go wrong with either of these skis. Stunt riders will probably go for the Sea-Doo Spark Trixx, and speed demons and thrill seekers will probably go for the Yamaha Jet Blaster. To read the full review, go to watercraftzone.com.au. Please hit like if you've enjoyed this video, and subscribe to this channel so we can continue to grow our jet ski community. Thanks for watching.